Who's that? Commander Claw. Who's bad? Commander Claw.
Welcome back to another episode of Breaking Brews. I'm your host, Commander Claw, and today we're bringing Y'shtola, Knights Blessed, from the Final Fantasy set pre-con. I forgot the name of the pre-con. I'm sure I'll have it listed in the description. But you are here, or the reason why you clicked on this video, for only three possible reasons. You're a cat person, you play the game Final Fantasy, or you're an esper commander player and you always are looking for a new esper thing to do. Well, without further ado, Y'shtola Knights Blessed is one of the three criteria for you. And if you meet one of those three criteria, go ahead and hit that like button so I know you watched this video. But anyway, Y'shtola Knights Blessed for 1 white, blue, and a black, 2/4 body. Legendary creature, cat, warlock. Of course, the cat here has got to be a cat. She has vigilance. At the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you draw a card. Okay, so what does that mean to me? She doesn't tap to attack. She's kind of just chilling there, and she encourages you to make your opponents lose life, or incidentally, your opponents just do what they naturally do and attack each other. And if they deal more than four damage or more, you get to draw a card. So it's kind of a win-win scenario here. Her second ability says, whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, Y'shtola deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. So we have life gain and we're draining life here. This is such an esper thing to do. Yes. So the vibe that she gives me is she's going to be there chilling and waiting for opponents to pass their turns and just kill each other. Either through combat or non-combat like damage. But she does remind me of one creature specifically. Yes. And let me explain who that is. That creature is Aminatou Veil Piercer. 1 white, blue, and a black, 2/4 body, human wizard. If you never played her before or played against her, she is an enchantment themed commander, Esper control. And I would say it gets out of control when your opponent is dropping a bunch of enchantments or enchantment creatures onto the battlefield randomly, quickly, and expeditiously because she has that miracle type of ability. The reason why I'm showing her with Y'shtola Knight's Blessing is because Knight's Blessing says non-creature spells. And enchantments are the first thing that I think of when something says non-creature spells. And enchantment spells are usually powerful. How many games have you lost to Relentless Assault, or shards, or any other type of enchantments that just they sit on the board for 2 turns and it's just game over? Well, yes, we have another Esper commander that wants you to play non-creature spells. So, without further ado, my must auto-include card that you have to have, or I expect to be in the pre-con, because this video came out before the pre-con deck list is released. Let's get right into that card. It is a little pricey though. I believe right now it's around $11, and that is in the month of February of 2025. We have Mind's Dilation. If you've never seen this card allows you to play free spells on each player's turn. Yeah. It might look expensive to play for 7 mana, but its value is extremely great. For 7 mana, 5 and 2 blue, it's an enchantment that reads, whenever an opponent casts their first spell each turn, players do that, that player exiles the top card of their library. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it without paying this mana cost. Now, if this card is paired with Y'shtola, Knights Blessed, you're telling me on my opponent's turn, they're going to play their first spell. Okay? You get to exile the next card in their library. The top card of their library, you exile it. So they don't get to use it. And if it's a non-land card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. You win because you already casting a non-land card. Then if it meets Y'shtola's criteria of a non-creature card with mana value 3 or less, you just drain your opponent's life for 2. And you gain 2 life. Free spell right there. And do this for each opponent's turn. Opponents will hate seeing you exile their top card and nonetheless cast it. Okay. So this is my auto include. Moving on to my favorite cards if you plan on using Ishtola's Nice Blessed. Yes, another enchantment. We got Wound Reflection here for 6 mana. It's an enchantment that says at the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. The reason why this card is really good because it's any of your opponents on any player's turn. That'll be easy to deal 4 damage to somebody. So, for example, opponent A attacks opponent B for 2 damage. At the end of opponent A's turn, Wound Reflection triggers, and opponent B loses another 2 life. And there you go. Ishitola's Night Blessing triggered ability is triggered. Opponent lost 4 life, and you get to draw a card. Whoop de doo. It only gets worse. And this includes non combat damage. So it's just across the board. Really good card. A great finisher, actually, to think about it. I actually know because I use it in my Transformers deck. But great finisher, great enchantment, Esper control once again. Moving on to the card to my right here, Ankh of Mishra for 2 mana. It's an artifact. It's going to punish your opponents. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, Ankh of Mishra deals 2 damage to that land's controller. Opponents have to play lands to play the game. They have to play lands to play the game. They're not getting around this unless this gets removed. So you automatically ping them for 2 damage, and all you need to do is another 2 damage to be able to draw another card. Then that's not even casting a spell that meets Ishitola's requirement to drain them for 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Easy, low CMC, on curve, play it early, watch it do damage. Moving on to Ishitola being the best card or a really good card in the 99 of this commander. This is by far top 3 favorite commander that I play with. My friends, my pod hate me with this commander, but I thoroughly enjoy it. Atraxa Praetor's voice, Witch Maw colors, which is green, white, blue, and black. 4/4 body, legendary creature, angel, horror, flying, vigilance, death touch, lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, proliferate. Yes, if you haven't played her, she can go with Saga Tribal, Enchantment Tribal, Planeswalker Tribal, Proliferate themes, Infect. She does it all. And she's just a static type of creature that just has a bunch of abilities, and opponents need to pull out all types of removal just to get her off the battlefield because proliferating is efficient and quick, and 10 poison counters from an infect creature or being one away to win the game is easy to do. The reason why you want Ishitola Nice Blessed in this deck because she's just a static creature, solid blocker as a 2/4. Vigilance doesn't cost a tap to attack. You're not going to attack with her anyway. And whenever you play a non-creature spell like the Planeswalkers with Atraxa or the Sagas with Atraxa, you're just going to drain your opponents for 2 life and you get to gain 2 life. We're winning here. Moving on to cards you possibly have missed. Now, while you are deck building with Ishitola's Nice Blessed or the Precon deck list has come out, look for Mentor's Guidance. For 2 and a blue, it is a sorcery. When you cast a spell, copy it if you control a Planeswalker, Cleric, Druid, Shaman, Warlock, or Wizard. Scry 1, then draw a card. Literally, Ishitola is a cat Warlock. So you get to scry 2 and draw 2 cards, all for 3 mana. Straightforward, great value. Next up to the right hand side, we have Final Word Phantom. A very good card because you want to add the element of surprise to this deck. I've seen Esper control, Esper commanders be very punishing when opponents don't see an enchantment enter the battlefield or is timed perfectly right before that player takes his turn, and that at the beginning upkeep triggers, and everybody's like, damn, I did not have an answer for that. I needed a counter spell. But the Esper commander waited till you guys were tapped out, which they do, and everybody's just SOL. Anyways, Final Word Phantom for 2 in a blue, 1/4 body. Not a good attacker. Great defense, though. It does have flash, and it is a spirit detective. I don't even know what. Pretty cool art. Let me just put it like that. Anyway, it has flash, it has flying, and it says during each opponent's end step, you may cast spells as though they had flash. The reason why this is good is because it says spells. It's not limited to any type of spells. It's all types of spells. So you can cast sagas, planeswalkers, enchantments, creatures, artifacts at the end of an opponent's end step. That's your only drawback. But this is still good because, hey, it only costs 3 to play. So if you time it right and you have your mana open, and believe me, when you're playing opponents, look at their mana base. Look at their mana. You're going to see if they can play something or not. Sometimes this game is called Magic, and magical things do happen, like free spells. And I'll get to that right here, right now. Now, where I think Ishitola Night's Bless secretly shines is casting free spells with mana value 3 or more. So when you cast a spell with mana value 3 or more, but it has the opportunity to play it for free, it still counts for being 3 mana value or more. So, for example, we have Deadly Rhotic. It costs a total of 4 mana to play. It's an instant. But if you have your commander on the battlefield, as you cast this, you get to play it for free. And that's going to be Ishitola. So, literally a free removal spell because it says exile target creature, and you get to drain your opponent's life for 2, and you gain 2 life. Win. Free spells can do that. They just have to have the mana value of 3 or more. Another card I like to suggest is Flare Fortitude. It's a 4 CMC card, right? It's an instant. You may sacrifice a non-token white creature rather than play this spell's mana cost. Until end of turn, your life total can't change, and permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible. So literally, you got to sacrifice a non-token white creature to give all your permanents hexproof and indestructible. That's game winning. And you get to drain 2 life and gain 2 life. So don't underestimate the power of 1, but it being 2 damage to each of your opponents. That's really easy to do. Secret. I would say deck tech to think about it, but it exploits that ability pretty well. Moving on to the summary. So thank you for watching this video on Ishito's Nice Blessed. All you old heads, cat warlocks, Esper commanders, or Final Fantasy fans, I believe this commander is another Esper commander. She's pretty cool, stable. I don't think she gets out of hand. I can't think of anything yet to really take advantage of that non-creature spell for 3 and drain 2 life and gain 2 life. Seems pretty forward. Kind of just withers opponents down. Otherwise, you get to put your staple Esper commander colors or staples in your 99 and take advantage of game-winning combos. Otherwise, draw cards for your opponents dealing damage to your opponents, or you doing damage to your opponents, either by draining life, combo, or non-combat damage. Yes, this is another episode of Breaking Brews. I'm your host, Commander Claw. Peace.